This is the 6A state championship game. Hi, everybody. Jim Bracciano, Nate Florell, and Joe Carnes with you on an overcast Saturday morning as we are set for championship football in Memorial Stadium. The opponents the same as last year, the Derby Panthers and the Lawrence High Lions. A difference this season, though. The Panthers come in perfect 11-0. The Lions one setback there at 10-1. Again, welcome to Memorial Stadium. Glad to have you along. The Marching Lions are here. The Derby Panthers band are here. And so are about 2,000 people packed into Memorial Stadium. A great day for high school football. Nate Florell, you've seen these Lions play. We've done a little bit of research on the Derby Panthers. You talked to some of the players, the coaches. This should be a great matchup, similar to last year.
Jim, every time you have such a rivalry that is built in a state championship game, you're going to have a great setting for a superb high school football game. Both teams have solid front lines, great running backs, and sheer determination that's driven them to this point. Jim, I'm very excited about calling this game. This will be an outstanding football game.
Well, it's a little brisk down on the field. Joe Carnes is there. There's a slight breeze, too. Joe, tell us what it's like down there. Will it have any effect on this football game?
I don't think so, Jim. Wind not going to be too much of a factor. Also, the footing very good. The field is not wet except just along the edges, so it should be pretty much good conditions.
Now, Derby won the toss for this football game. They decided to defend the goal. Lawrence High will receive, and they'll defend the north end of this football stadium or the bowl. And there's Dick Purdy, the veteran coach. In his 5th year at Lawrence High School, the coach is a little bit nervous prior to this football game today, Nate, and with good reason.
Very well so, Jim. I think this is everything's kind of sinking in right now that Lawrence High didn't realize they would be here at the beginning of the season, and now they're kind of waking up, realizing that they're playing for the state championship game against their nemesis, Derby High School. Tom
Young along the sidelines for Derby. He's done a great job with this team. The last 3 years, actually the last 5 seasons, they've gone 9-0 during the regular season. They've won 11 straight. Their last loss came in Manhattan a year ago, and that was at the state game against the Lions, 27-23. A tremendous come-from-behind win for the Lions. Lawrence trailed 23-0 at half. They were held to 29 yards of total offense. Don't expect that to happen here, although Derby has a tremendous defense. Chris DeVore will kick off for the Panthers. John Karr is back deep for Lawrence High School, along with Thomas Daniels and J.D. Laudebarger. Glad to have you along. 6A state championship football is underway. Karr stands at the 6. Across the 20. And the Lions will go on offense at their own 26-yard line. Jim Ward will be a quarterback for Lawrence High School. There's the offensive line: McInnes, Harrison, Wedd, Williams, and Enneking across the front. The receiving core: Billy Brashear is at tight end. He has 4 touchdown catches. And in the backfield with the senior quarterback, Garrett Addig at fullback and John Karr at tailback. First down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Just underway in the first quarter. This is Karr, and John spins for a 5-yard pickup to the 31. Let's take a look at the Panthers defense, and it's pretty good across the front. There's 2 juniors on that, the left side, Robbins and Williams. Draney and Riedel. Riedel is one heck of a defensive end. The linebacking core: Weirman, Relander, and Russell. Glazer, Malik, and Malik. That's Tyler Malik and Tyson Malik, the 2 safeties, and the other cornerback is Nathan Phillips. Second down and 5 for the Lions after a 5-yard pickup. Here's Karr again. Bangs close to a first down. He'll be about a half yard shy.
Jim, right now Lawrence is kind of making the foundation for what they're going to do today. Run off tackle, the big tackles that they have. And Chris Enneking and Nate Williams, they're going to run the dive all day long. Then they'll come back with the option. And clearly on defense, the solid guys to watch are David Russell and Jeff Relander. These guys are solid up front. 2 strong linebackers, number 44 and number 45.
They'll pack it in too. They go with the 4-3 defensive set, but they will come up on the line, Russell and Weirman. Third down and less than a yard for the Lions. Here's Addig. He has the first down to the 39-yard line. The Lions offensively averaging 277 yards on the ground. In on the stop that time for the Panthers was Ross Draney, number 75.
We'll take a look at the center box here, giving the ball right to their fullback, running right over the center box area. Lawrence is just going to play a little game of chess right now, see what they're going to do on defense, and pretty much establish the run game.
Lions drive began at its own 26-yard line. Here's the pitch. The sweep. Carr gets a good block outside Herb, and he's tripped up by number 35 on the play. That's Tyson Malik, the free safety.
There's a good look at what Lawrence High does best. The toss sweep out left. Great block. Watch number 45 at the top of your screen come out and just clear out the free safety. Johnny Carr just about an ankle away from going all the way down the sideline. He was fired up.
Good block by Greg Herb on the play. It's a 9-yard pickup. 2nd down and 1 to go for the Lions. Lawrence High averaging 16 first downs a game on offense. 9:44 to play here in the first quarter. Deep handoff. Carr slipping tacklers right at midfield, and he's brought down there. David Russell, the right side linebacker, a 5'11 senior, the first one to get to him for the Panthers. But it'll be 1st and 10 Lions. The football just inside Derby territory.
Well, here's a good look at this big green swarming defense led by David Russell, number 45. Jim, this defense is solid. I think they have about 9 seniors up front, and all the linebackers, excluding Shelby Wehrman, are seniors.
Well, they only give up 65 yards a game on average on the ground. The Lions right now with an impressive 30 yards. Here's Enneking. He's stopped. Maybe a yard on the play. Tyson Malik was in on the stop. Aaron Robbins was the first to get to him.
Well, Tom Young, and there's a defensive coordinator, clearly has got these guys rallied to play a solid 5-man front. You know, they came out and are scouted as just a 4-man front, but they're bringing their free safety up, and they're adding more beef because they know right now Lawrence is wanting to run the off-tackle dive.
Lions 2nd down, a long 9, almost 10 yards. 8:46 to play, no score. Lawrence High's opening drive. Loose football, bounces right back to Jimmy Ward. He goes down at the line of scrimmage. So the Lions with the lucky break. That's the 28th time the football has come out of the Lions players.
You know, Jim, they're very fortunate because of the turf. Watch this football just go right in the gut of Garrett Adding and out, back into the hands of Jimmy Ward. Jim, that wouldn't have happened if it would have been on a regular surface. But fortunate enough for the Lions, they got the ball back and they're facing the 3rd and long 9.
Could see the first pass of the football game. Jim Ward looking to the Lions bench as you're looking at the Derby defensive unit, clad in the green with the yellow and white trim.
I tell you what, Jim, these guys are very vicious. Josh Riddell, keep an eye on Ross Straney, that tackle, big 6'1", 231 pounds. This is a big 3rd down for Lawrence.
Goodwin split to the near side, passing situation, and in trouble was Ward. He goes down back at the 47-yard line. Josh Riddell got him.
Well, Riddell was there the whole way, beating his man, coming right over the right tackle, Chris Enneking. Watch at the top of your screen, number 87 swarmed through right around and right after number 11, Jimmy Ward.
Well, they call him an animal in Derby country, as he is one heck of a football player, has a chance at a Division I school. 203 pounds, 6'1". And the Lions punting unit comes on. That's Tommy Wiles, averaging 33 yards a kick. Tyson Malik back deep for Derby. This one hangs up. Short kick. Hits at the 30. Takes a Lions bounce inside the 25. 7:12 to play here in the first quarter. No score. Derby has the football when we come back. 35-yard line. The football comes loose. They're ruling down there. On the receiving end for the Panthers was number 25, Corey Gorley. He is the leading receiver for this Panther club. Quickly, we'll take a look at the starting grid for the Panthers offensively across the front. Jason Reitmeyer, D. Duncan, Doug Simpler at center, Ross Straney, and Josh Ast will work the right side. Here they are. And the receiving core of Aaron Severlin, Corey Gorley, the tight end Josh Riedel, Barry Galbraith, Shelby Wehrman, and Tyson Malik. First play close enough for a measurement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Lions defensive unit here while we're waiting for the measurement. Billy Brashears, Lee Myers, Reggie Harris at a nose guard, Chris Enneking and Nate Williams on the right side. Gabe Hopkins and Mike Clover, the 2 linebackers today. Expect to see some adding in there too. John Karr, Greg Herb, J.D. Lauderberger, and Jim Ward in that secondary. First down number 1 for the Panthers, and it comes via the airwaves. Galbraith, 50% passer, 67 of 133, 1,300 yards on the season.
Well, clearly that's their offense right there. They've got a lot of support with Tyson Malik, and you see the great receiver, Corey Gorey, number 25. Galbraith is a guy that's got a lot of poise, and truly they are aggressive on the pass.
Last year they had a good quarterback in Tommy Shaw. They say that this year Galbraith is better. And Shaw really did a great job both running and passing the football last season. The first run is to Tyson Malik, and on the stop, Nate Williams. Enneking also helped out. The big number 70s on the right side.
Well, I like to think of these two guys. Watch number 70 and 72. They look identical, Jim. I call these guys the brothers here. Watch Enneking and Williams come down the line, just swarm on top of each other, tackling the great running back for Derby, Tyson Malik.
Malik with 1,200 yards on the ground this season, 22 touchdowns, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Second down, 9 to go. On the option, Galbraith, nice cut, back upfield, and Galbraith could go. He's in across the 40-yard line. Back there is Carr, forcing him out of bounds at the Lions' 28. 36-yard run by Barry Galbraith.
Well, Derby is just on fire right now, clearly going right after the option, knowing that they can get a good kick-out block on the right end. Watch Galbraith with some wheels come around, get a great block by number 34, Shelby Wehrman, and turn the corner only to find Johnny Carr there to knock him out of bounds. Big gain for Derby.
Brett Schumann could not bring him down on the turn. And that goes again into a 36-yard gain for the Panthers. 5:32 to play here in the first. Straight drop. Quick swing pass is complete and out of bounds at the 22-yard line. On the receiving end, Nathan Phillips. On the coverage for the Lions was Thomas Daniels, number 25.
What we're going to look at is just a quick three-step drop. And what you call that, that's possession passing right there, right to Corey Worley. They're going to pick right at this Lawrence defense so they can dictate the momentum, throwing the quick outs, then running on the option at the ends. Doing a nice job, Derby High School.
Play goes for 6. Second down and 4. Football on the 21 of the Lions. From the I formation, first man through, the fullback, Wehrman. He gets 1, and that's it.
Okay, Jim, that was Reggie Harrison to stop him on the play. Watch number 51 come in. Big stop. Reggie playing big, the senior, with tremendous size up front. 200 solid pounds with the low center of gravity. Jim, I think this is going to be a war today as you look at the Derby High School coaches kind of mapping things out for the next play. This is a big third down.
Third down and 4. Lions defense packs in. Good look at the senior quarterback, Barry Galbraith. And he wants to throw a little swing pass, and it's incomplete. It was in and out of the hands. The intended receiver, I believe, was Gorley.
Well, Jim, this may be here all day long, but the problem with throwing this pattern is it's a timing route. And when you have a pressure situation, all the pressure goes on the quarterback, and Galbraith right there putting the ball a little bit to his outside, and Gorley couldn't come down with it, so it brings up a big 4 down for Derby High School.
It would be a 39-yard field goal attempt. Instead, they'll go for it on 4th down and 4. From the Lions 22. Galbraith to throw. Again, the timing pass. It's complete this time, down to the 17-yard line of the Lions.
Big first down for Derby High School right there. They have a lot of confidence in what they're doing. Going to number 21, Tyler Malik, the brother of Tyson Malik. They changed receivers on that one. He may have run a sharper route, but clearly the cornerback for Lawrence High School, Thomas Daniels, is giving much more of a cushion on a 4th and 5.
Malik's 13th catch of the year. He has 4 touchdown receptions. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Lions 16. 4:18 to play in the first. No score. Galbraith tucks it in, bounces off the defender, stays on his feet inside the Lions 10. How about a 7-yard pickup for Barry Galbraith? J.D. Laudebarger and Jim Ward combined to make the stop for the Lions.
Well, Galbraith's got a lot of quick feet running at the end. Look at number 84 right there. He's running right at him, Billy Brashears. And if he kicks out, Jim, that's when he turns it up. And Galbraith has shown a lot of leadership, holding on to the football, confidently throwing it well and running. He's going to be a big threat for them today.
2 wide receivers for the Panthers. Second down, 4 yards to go. Football at the 10-yard line of Lawrence High School. On the option, near side. Galbraith goes down back at the 13. On the tackle, Nate Williams, number 72 for the Lions.
Well, watch 72, one of those brothers I was telling you about, Big Nate coming through big. Always throughout the year, he has come up big when they have needed him, and now it's 3rd down at about 6. It's going to create a great scenario. I think the pressure is going to be on Derby right here because they haven't been able to move the ball within the 20-yard line.
In the red zone, the Lions very tough defensively. Lawrence High does not give up a lot of points. Just under 10 a game. 2:50 and the clock rolling here in the first. Lone setback is Weirman to pass across the middle, and flags may fly. No, they do not.
I don't think so.
Intended receiver was Gorley, and he got hung up on the outside. That's what the Derby fans are making noise about, and that's what Gorley's complaining to the official about.
And you know, Jim, he may have a right complaint, but I think look at it from Johnny Karr's standpoint. Watch number 22 hop in. Watch the top of your screen. He's going to hop in. Oh, you can't see it there, but he hops in and goes man to man, watching his man. He has the every right to do that, Jim, and that's why they didn't throw the flag right there.
Good point.
Heads up play by Johnny Karr, the senior, going man to man. I don't know if that was his responsibility, but he had a feeling that the ball was going to come towards Gurley right there.
Tom Young elects to pick up the 3 here. It'll be a 29-yard attempt with 2:45 to play here in the first quarter. Chris DeVore, the senior field goal kicker. Lions try to block, and he nails it, and it hit the upright. It will not be good. Timeout on the field. 2:39 to play here in the first. No score. On the first play, it's John Karr across to the 26. After the missed field goal attempt.
Well, Johnny Karr kind of lost his shoe on that play. It looks like he gained about 6 or 7 yards coming down the option. He looks good today, Jim. I think I saw him in warm-ups, and he was very fired up. One of the few guys that had great concentration during warm-ups. A lot of the guys from Lawrence High were kind of jittery, even the coaching staff, as we talked about earlier. But I think all that's come to pass now that you've gone through one series, and you should see a lot of clear, solid, fundamental football.
The Lions, as you mentioned, they seemed a little bit nervous during warm-ups, but I think at this point, second time on offense, Nate, you got to be a little more comfortable with what you're doing. The Lions showed they moved the football well. They had a nice drive in their first. Went for 27 yards, and they ate some time with it. Clock under 2 minutes. Ward, ooh, banged in the backfield, and down will go John Karr. He was met hard by Josh Riedel and Shelby Weirman.
Wow, Jim. I have not seen John Karr go down there at all like that this year. Oh my goodness, watch from the low. Watch these guys come through. Center box area, 75-87. Ross Draney and Josh Riddell, I believe it was one of the linebackers, Shelby Weirman, coming in and laying a hard hat on Johnny Karr. Boy, I tell you, this is going to be one heck of a football game, but those guys keep coming with that intensity.
3rd down and 9, clock at 1:15. Still here in the first quarter, no score in this game. Lions on the 3rd and 9, it goes to Karr, tries to work it to the outside, and he's met, picked up, and thrown down. Bulldog on the play, Corey Corley, I believe, got him, number 25. Now they'll give it to Nathan Phillips, number 26.
Well, that's the guy you want to keep an eye on, Nathan Phillips coming in. And what this is solid fundamental tackling. I like this picture. Watch underneath the pass. Nathan Williams just bulldogging Johnny Karr. He's a good, solid boy. I tell you what, 6'1", 187-pound senior.
Tom Wiles comes on to punt for the 2nd time. End over end job. Going to take another Lawrence High bounce. And it'll roll dead inside the Derby 33-yard line. Still getting a little blow on it to the 32.
Jim, right there, it looked like Derby was sending all their people. Unfortunately enough, Lawrence got a good kickoff into the wind, and it just rolled. Big break for Lawrence High School.
How about a 41-yarder? Tommy Wiles in the Lions out of trouble. Lions making their 9th straight appearance here at the state championship, going for an unprecedented 6th straight state title. We played through one, no score in this championship football game. This Panther team, before last season, had not been in a state championship game since 1975, but they do have the confidence in this one. No score as we start the 2nd quarter of action from Memorial Stadium. From the 31-yard line, Galbert to throw, and he has time. Airs it deep, has his man wide open. On the receiving end, Aaron Severland. 68-yard touchdown pass.
Well, Jim, just watch what is a simple post route. Galbraith laying the ball up for number 19, Aaron Severin, beating number 25, Thomas Daniels. Speed on speed, Jim. He just made one move, and I believe it was at the 45 or 35-yard line, and he broke right to the end zone.
That's the 6th touchdown catch of the year for Severin. Galbraith has completed his 20th. On for the extra point, Chris DeVore, no stranger, as he nails his 52nd PAT through. That play took all of 8 seconds. Here's another look at it.
The key to this play, Jim, is timing. Putting the ball up between the goalposts and laying it on the money to your receiver. Watch number 19 go all the way to the house.
Derby out in front, 7-0 as we start the second quarter. We'll be back. And it was a great move that Severin put on to get open in that secondary.
Well, it's a good call, too, on first down. A lot of times defensive backs will be looking run on first down. They take one step up, and the wide receiver goes right by him. And a perfect throw by the quarterback. I'm impressed with him. He's running the offense very well, and he really showed that he could throw the deep ball. That's something that the Lions are going to have to take a look at throughout the rest of the ball game.
Thank you, Joe Carnes. Big play. Difference in this game right now, 7-0. Chris DeVore to kick off. Back deep, John Karr. Laudebarger back there, as well as Daniels. Karr from the 7. And he finds a crease, but bangs helmets at the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Jim, I think Joe made a great point about the quarterback, Galbraith. I think he's opening up a lot of options for himself today by throwing that touchdown strike. Great call by their coach, Tom Young. That's going to open up nothing but the option for them. Let's see what Lawrence High does on offense.
First quarter numbers, Nate. The Lions 11 carries for 27 yards. That's what they have in total offense. Derby, 5 rushes for 43. 3 of 5 passing is Galbraith for 22 yards. Grand total is 65. A touchdown was 68 yards. It came as we started the second quarter. Here's JoJo Polk turning the corner to the outside, swatting defenders away across the 35 or the 33-yard line. Tyler Malik and Jeff Raylander made the stop.
Well, JoJo making a big contribution today. He's a backup running back. Watch him put a juke move on the corner right here. Tyson Malik just move right out of the way. Number 44, Jeff Raylander, and get 4 positive extra yards. Nice run by JoJo.
Polk coming into the game, 219 yards on 10 carries. They had a big football game earlier this season. Jim Ward settles him in. That was a 6-yard pickup. 2nd and 4 now from the 32. Quick slant pass. Karr complete at the 36-yard line. It should be enough for a first down. Raylander was on the coverage, as well as Gorley.
What Lawrence likes to do every now and then is move their running back and fullback off to the left right there. They came in what is a spread set, put Attic and Karr all the way off to the left to the bottom, and just kick it out to Johnny and get it to him early so he can do something with it. He got the first down right there. Heads up call by Nick Purdy.
.10:25 before intermission. JoJo Polk comes to the near side, sets up at wide receiver. 1st and 10. Here's the handoff deep in the backfield. Karr spinning his way near the 40. That was Raylander who nailed him.
Raylander nailed him, but I tell you, the work of Josh Riddell and Ross Straney is paying off for this Derby defense. They swarm their men. If you can see number 87 and number 75, the end and the tackle, just creating this play. They're doing solid up front, Jim, and it's really causing Lawrence some problems.
7 carries for John Karr. 30 yards on the afternoon. 9:42 before intermission. On the handoff, this is Polk. Covers it up with both hands. He gains 2. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Russell and Weirman combined to make the stop for the Panthers. JoJo seeing some playing time early on in this football game. Garrett Attic on the ground has 3 carries, 9 yards. The Lions on the rush, not getting a lot.
Well, you know, the reason they're not is because this Derby defense is just swarming. They're playing totally unified up front, and that's creating some serious problems. But I like to see JoJo Polk get the ball in his hands today. He'll do solid for Lawrence.
Derby shuffles around defensively. Ooh, crossing pattern in the backfield. That'll be close to a first down as Karr carries and runs into Shelby Weirman. That may be just shy, Nate. Depends on the spot by the officials.
Yeah, it didn't look like Johnny got the first down. He got some momentum. John, of course, not the biggest guy in the world, meeting Shelby Weirman, a bigger guy at 5'11", 183 pounds. Watch John just try to get that extra yard right there. but appears to be just a couple yards short.
Reggie Harrison talking to the officials. He may have an equipment problem. He runs to the sideline. I tell you, if you look along that sideline, there's one guy down there still wearing shorts. And folks, it is not warm here. And that's Jerry Skockle, the defensive coordinator, former Topeka High coach. I talked to him after the Olathe East game last week, Nate. He said he just, hey, that's tradition. Dick Purdy's got his skull cap. They're wearing coats down there on the sideline, sweatshirts, and Jerry Skockle dressed in shorts.
I tell you what, football coaches are interesting people. They all got their own mannerisms and rituals they do before football games to get themselves mentally ready to go. And clearly, Jim, both of these staffs are ready to go today.
Well, there's an equipment problem with Reggie Harrison. It looks like he's got a chin strap that's busted on his helmet. He'll come to the sidelines.
Well, Jeff Wallace steps in for Reggie, number 78. He's a junior, so a little less experience on the left side of the tackle position for Lawrence.
4th and inches with 8:30 to play here in the first half. First down and 10. Karr gets it across midfield.
Big first down for Lawrence High, Jim. And you know why? Because up front, the battle was won. Chris Enneking with a great kick-out block. Number 70 just clearing his man out for Johnny Karr to run through.
Raylander made the stop. Well, shoe problem right there now for John Karr, but Reggie Harrison having some equipment problems. Joe, you're right down there among the Lions. What's going on?
Well, it's interesting, Jim. Reggie Harrison had a problem with his face mask. I think it's coming off the helmet, so he grabbed a helmet of his teammate, number 67, Paul Boast, and he's wearing Paul's helmet right now.
Nate, you're familiar with helmets. Is that going to bother Reggie at all?
Not at all.
You get used to one, and then you got to put somebody else's on.
I tell you what, I think Reggie went out the sideline and asked if he didn't have to use his helmet. He's a gamer. He's ready to go.
Big first down, as Nate mentioned. And it's right across the midfield mark for the Lions. Play action. Ward swings it out, incomplete, intended for Attic at the 45, a little high. Good coverage downfield. Goodwin was way downfield, but there was man coverage on him by Corey Gorley.
Hey, Gorley was solid on his man all the way downfield. And watch Ward come out of the chute right there. Look for his options. He's got 3 guys to throw to, and he chooses to go to Addy because he had nothing downfield. Great coverage for Derby.
Would have been about a 4-yard pickup had Garrett been able to hang on to the ball. Attic 568 yards rushing this season, and it's interesting because of the fact he picked up 436 over the last 3 weeks. Well, he's been the workhorse, and he gets the call this time and still keeps those legs driving down to the 43-yard line of the Panthers. David Russell finally brings him down, number 45.
Well, talking just a little bit about Attic, he has been their workhorse lately, and Dick Purdy knows the competitiveness of number 24. Watch the leg drive right there to get that extra yard. He dropped the ball in the last play, but Dick knows that if he gets the ball back in his hands, he's going to redeem himself and the Lions. Good call by Dick Purdy.
Gain of 7 for the junior fullback. Second longest run of the afternoon so far for the Lions. They trail 7-0. They're 1 of 4 converting here, and on the carry they will not get it. John Karr looking for the first down. This one just good collapsing defense by Derby to stop this play.
Yeah, Aaron Robbins and Justin Williams, 2 guys we haven't talked about yet, coming up and making a solid contribution. And again, David Russell in on the tackle.
And the football at the 41, the Lions will go for it on 4th down in the yard. Northside trails by a touchdown. On the handoff, second man through. Adding, he may not have it. It doesn't look like it from the spot by the official. David Russell and Ross Draney combined to make the tackle, and Attic stopped right at the 40.
Well, Attic met a brick wall right here. Draney and Russell just smack right there, moving him back. Jim, that was because 45 Russell was keeping his legs driving, and Attic just got jawalted by 2 guys and moved back. Big play by the Derby defense.
Panthers with the 68-yard touchdown pass lead this game 7-0. Good group of Derby fans making the trip up from the Wichita area to see this. Lions, a pretty decent crowd too. That drive took more than 5 minutes off the clock, and it's now 6:28 and rolling before halftime. Galbraith settles him in. Second man through, and on the carry, Tyson Malik And a flag flies into the pile. Malik got out to the 45-yard line. But our first penalty flag comes. It looks like this could be one tacked on to the Lions too. His face mask is a preliminary call.
I think the face mask occurred right at the beginning of the line of scrimmage. Somebody got their hand on him.
On the white. First down.
That's a big tack on in high school. You know, they just rack the ball all the way down another 15 yards. Whether it's a flagrant face mask or not, I think, Jim, in college, you know, you're associate two face masks, the one the 5-yard and the 15-yard. When in high school, I think there's just one and 15. And anytime you lay your hand on the face mask, you're going to be penalized big time.
Goes down to the 40-yard line of the Lions. Plenty of time remaining in this second quarter. The I formation. On the option, Galbraith sheds a tackler, but he can't shed Reggie Harrison.
Reggie Harrison, big-time player. I tell you what, he read that play the whole way, had his man to beat, and he was solid. Hard parts, football on the wall. Watch number 51. Just come and just get that ankle right there. I like what Lawrence is doing on defense. They're bringing their free safety up, Jim, and J.D. Lauterbarger. Then they're moving him back to carry out extra support on the option.
Second down after a loss of 1. 5:25 on the scoreboard clock. 7-0 the score. Quick out pattern, and that ball is dropped. It kind of floated out in the direction of Tyler Malik.
Yeah, Galbraith was a little insecure in his footing right there. Galbraith ran a nice solid route. We can see from the press box up here, he was about 4 yards and out, planted well, but watch the feet of number 9. Just kind of never got his feet set, and then was a little insecure on the follow through.
Galbraith now 5 of 7 for 90 yards and a touchdown. He has thrown just 7 interceptions this season. Sorry, that's 4 of 7 passing. Now 3rd and 11. Galbraith, some good time, swings it out, complete at the 28-yard line. On the defense for the Lions was Thomas Daniels, and on the catch was Corey Gorley, number 25. His second catch of this football game. 12-yard pickup.
Well, Jim, what he did was Gurley ran a good 18-yard, basically a 13-yard comeback, and plenty of time for Galbraith. He made sure he got his feet above that orange marker right there, and a little too late for the quarterback for Lawrence. Thomas Daniels will make the stick. Smart pass play by Galbraith.
Panthers with 6 first downs in this football game, 4 for the Lions. And they keep the drive alive at the Lawrence High 29, 4:52. Here's Weirman spinning his way down to the 22-yard line. J.D. Lauterbarger made the tackle for Lawrence High School as Weirman spins it for an 8-yard gain.
Well, Weirman doesn't get the ball that much. I don't have many stats on him, but watch low. This is attributed to that great hole right up front by the right side of their line. Josh Aston, Ross Draney, their big right guard for Derby High School. Weirman, of course, the brother of Jeff Weirman, former free safety for Kansas University. He's a good-looking fullback.
4:13 to play. Second down, 2 yards to go. Ooh, and down goes Galbraith. Reggie Harrison with the sack.
Big Reggie is in the house today.
As you watch the sack again, I want to let you know is winning is the #1 syndrome, the #1 problem in interscholastic athletics. High school athletic programs are truly educational in nature, and among the values learned are those associated with good sportsmanship. Being #1 in sportsmanship is educationally more important than being #1 on the playing field. Take pride in your team by displaying good sportsmanship. Public service message from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. 6-yard loss on the sack in the arms of Reggie Harrison. Galbraith 3 times now losing yardage when he runs with the football. Good set. The throw's away, and it's almost caught inside the 5, incomplete. Corey Gorley was the intended receiver. John Karr back on the coverage for Lawrence High. That would have been a big play, Nate.
Big time play. Watch if you can see number 25. Clearly this is what's called a flag route. Gurley tries to turn his man out and had the ball right on his hands, and that could have been a big touchdown for them.
3:23 in a fast-paced first half of this 6A state championship game. Reminder coming up at halftime, the Jim Ellen Autoplex halftime report. Highlights, statistics, and we'll go down on the field for an interview. 4th down, 9 to go. The officials stopped the play. It may have been a timeout. And Derby will call one. We'll take one as well. 3:23 to play. Tom Young wants to talk to his team on 4th and 9. We'll be right back. Joe Carnes with you in a pressure-packed football game. 4th down and 9 for the Derby Panthers. They lead at 7-0 here. 3 receivers in patterns. Galbraith sends it deep. He has Gorley down there, broken up by John Karr.
Great play by Johnny Karr, Jim. I had a feeling they're going to go to number 25. He kind of pushed off just a little bit as he went in on the post. This is the play that got them the touchdown. Great coverage by number 22, Jim. They've been going to Gurley all day long, and they've got a feeling that he is their go-to guy with the big pass plays.
He's got 2 catches in this football game for 22 yards. The big play went to Aaron Severin. 68 yards in the score. The Derby will turn it over. Big number 75, Ross Draney, settles in defensively for the Panthers. They've been very stingy in this football game. Ward looks deep. He airs it down. Karr there. Johnny's got it inside the 45. Troy Glazer on the coverage, and a beautiful catch by John Karr.
Beautiful is right. Watch number 22. Great pass by Jimmy Ward, stepping up and throwing the ball right on the money. This is what looks like a jump ball. Johnny almost kept his feet. Almost would have gone the whole way for the touchdown. Great athletic ability by Johnny Karr.
33-yard pickup on the pass play. Again, Jim Ward, 631 yards through the air, 49% passing, and just 2 interceptions. Lions still with plenty of time remaining to get something on the scoreboard. They trail 7-0. 2:45. JoJo Polk to the outside. He's grabbed and nailed at the 37-yard line. The man that slowed him up was Raylander.
And then Tyson Mallet came up and laid down the mallet. He comes in at the basically the free safety position over to make this play. JoJo getting the ball a lot today. Turned the corner. Could not get past Brelander. Mallet came in on the tackle. Jim, you got a feeling right now that Lawrence has a sense of urgency that they got to get the ball in the end zone right now.
Aaron Robbins injured on the play. He goes to the Derby sideline. Here's Ward to the air again. Looks for Karr. Has him complete at the 25 to the 23-yard line.
First down, Lions. Again, going over to Glazer's side. 14 yards on the play right there. Keep an eye on Jimmy Ward, just settling up with a little more poise than he had before and getting the ball out to their great senior, Johnny Karr.
Malik and Glazer again on the coverage. Karr had 14 receptions coming into this game. He's got the good hands. He's on that wide receiver spot again. Here's Addick, a hard yard down to the 21. Malik and Russell make the stop.
Well, Russell coming in, laying the hard parts on him, trying to put an end to this. There's a good look at that strapping linebacker. This guy kind of gets you fired up. Watch number 45 come right in the middle, just slaps on the helmet. Oh, actually, that was 35. That was Malik again, Jim.
Derby really shifting around on defense, not getting a chance to get set. Here's Polk, and Polk is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Robbins back in. He helped out on the tackle, but it looked like big number 75, Ross Draney. Lions will call a timeout with 1:18 to play. 7-0. Derby out in front in the 6A state championship game. 1:18. 7-0. The Panthers out in front of the Lawrence High Lions. What's going on the sidelines right now? Joe Carnes is near that Lions huddle. Joe, can you listen in? What are they talking about here?
Well, Jim, I can't quite get in that far, unfortunately. But one thing I've noticed that the defensive front for Derby are extremely quick, and those misdirection plays that are taking a little bit more time to develop that Lawrence is trying to run in the backfield. By the time the running back gets up to the line of scrimmage, the defender has beaten his offensive man, so those offensive linemen have to stick with those blocks a little bit longer to make those misdirection plays work.
That's a good point, Joe. They are quicker. The Derby defensive line is not as big as it was last year, but the players are much quicker, and that's something that Tom Young has pointed out, and the Lions coaches know that as well. So Lawrence High now 3rd down 6. Ward in trouble, and Ward throws it away. Will a flag come out? They will not whistle. Intentional grounding. John Karr was in the area. In on the sack was Josh Riedel, or the pressure, I should say.
Yeah, number 87 comes and swarms his man. I think he went out for a route. No, Jim, that's not a flag right there because, yeah, Johnny Karr was in the area.
And Jim Ward wants another timeout with 1:09 to play. That'll leave the Lions with 1 remaining and a 4th down and 6 when we come back. You're watching 6A State Championship football live here on Channel 6. Carnes will have a chat with Lawrence High Athletic Director Ron Commons. What a job that he's had to step into. I guess it's an easy way to step into it as far as having a championship teams rolling right along, and volleyball team taking a state championship back this year from Shawnee Mission South. Another green and white squad that had to go up against. We'll talk some winter sports, which are next in line, so stay with us. Derby players trying to get their fans up behind them. Have a 4th down and 6 to stop the Lions here. Carr, and it looks like Schumann in the backfield for Lawrence High School. Jim Ward to throw for it, and the pass is out. It's intercepted at the 16-yard line, and it's dropped.
Well, Jim, the man that went back for the interception was Jeff Reland, I believe, number 44, coming back in the chute, carrying out the flat. Watch Jimmy Ward getting pursued backside. He's got a lot of pressure. The ball was tipped by number 44 or 45, Dave Russell. I'm not sure.
Well, Raylander wisely did not catch that because they'll gain 5 yards back, and that play been caught on the interception. Would have cost him 5 on 4th down. So whether he intentionally dropped it or not, Derby has 1:05 before halftime, and they do own a 7-0 lead. Ooh, Galbraith is hit hard in the backfield after he unloads the football. Spinning for a 9-yard gain on the play. With Shelby Weirman.
Well, Galbraith was hit just a little too late. Right now, I think they're just going to try to run out the clock. I would stay heads up on defense, the corners especially, as you look at Weirman run through and get into the secondary. I would stay heads up because they might go for the bomb on one play here. They've got 46 seconds left. They're going to come out and take a look at it with the chains.
I want to remind you that ethics, integrity, and respect are values important in our daily lives. All these important values are learned by participation in interscholastic activities programs. During competition, they're translated into one word, that's sportsmanship. It's one of the strongest educational lessons and lifetime values taught by interscholastic activities. Makes sense to exhibit good sportsmanship. It's a public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association. It'll bring up 2nd and short now for the Panthers.
But here's a great opportunity right now to go for the bundle.
Daniels playing well off his man. That's Gorley, excuse me, to the near side, giving him about 11 yards cushion. Galbraith wants to throw. Eludes a tackler and now gets across the 35, tripped up and goes to the 37. It'll be a 1st down either way. The clock stops momentarily while they move the sticks. And I noticed Nate Williams pounding himself on the helmet there. He may have missed a tackle.
Yeah, watch right in the interior. Nate comes through right there and just misses his guy. Actually, Chris Enneking had an opportunity to get him too.
Enneking came up high and was cut down.
Well, they'll be talking about that in about 10 seconds.
Could be the final play of the first half. They'll fix the chains. 8 seconds to play. Galbraith settles in. He'll get one more snap. At 5, the handoff, Weirman, and he gets a yard, and that'll do it. So like last year, the Lions will go into the locker room trailing the Panthers of Derby High School. But unlike last year, they're only down 7. Plenty more football action to come here from Memorial Stadium as the Lions player is down. Reggie Harrison hurt on that last play. And he'll hobble off the field, and you don't like to see that. Joe Carnes is down there along the sideline. Joe, did you pick up anything in that last play that Reggie may have gotten hurt on?
I didn't see anything specifically, but I think it might be an ankle.
We'll take another look at it on the replay and see if you can pick something out here. There's 51. Ooh.
He just got turned over.
He got
grabbing the right ankle there, Jim.
And his leg stepped on. The Lions coaching staff heads into the locker room. Harrison hustling off. A slight limp to him. Reminder coming up. The Jim Ellen Autoplex halftime report. That's the home of the all-new 95 Buick Riviera and the 95 Nissan Maxima. Get one Ellen a deal at the Jim Ellen Autoplex. Stay tuned for the Lawrence High School Marching Band. And again, the Jim Ellen Autoplex halftime report. Our score at intermission, Derby 7, Lawrence High nothing. 7-0 our score, Derby out in front. Let's listen in to one of the best high school bands in the state of Kansas. On a Saturday afternoon in Lawrence, Kansas, where Derby leads this football game 7-0 over the Lawrence Lions. We want to remind you that an educational environment is essential to the success of high school athletics. An important part of that environment is planning for good sportsmanship. Without good sportsmanship, the lessons learned lose their value. Remember, the next time you attend an interscholastic contest, that you are really inside a classroom where good sports receive the highest grade. It's a public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association. Again, our thanks to the High School Activities Association for allowing us to bring you Lawrence High School State Championship football live right here on Channel 6. It's been a good first half, 7-0 our score. And it's almost time to start talking basketball as you look at the Derby High School Marching Band. And Joe Carnes down along the sidelines has somebody else that's rather new to the Lawrence High School coaching ranks. That's LHS head basketball coach Jack Schreiner. The Lions went 12-9 last year, Joe. Can they do it again this year or actually improve upon that?
Well, I think everyone connected with the Lawrence High basketball program is looking to improve on that 12-9 record. Have you started practice yet this year, Coach?
We started tryouts on Monday, and we had our first cuts last night, and then we're waiting for the football players to come out next week. We think we'll have about a half a dozen of those, and then we'll make final cuts probably the end of the next week.
Does the football season going this long into November impact your basketball team at all?
Well, yes and no. I mean, you know, you want the football team to go as far as they possibly can, because that just builds spirit in the school. It teaches kids how to win, but it hurts us early on because we don't have the football players in as good a shape, basketball shape, as we want them.
What kind of a team do you want to have, or are you trying to put together for this season?
We're going to have a team that gets up and down the floor, I think, this year. We've got a lot of athletes. We're Lawrence High, and we're not very tall. I mean, if you look back at the history of Lawrence High, we don't have tall players, but we're athletic, we're quick, and we're going to run with most people. At least I hope we do.
First year last year at 12-9. Do you plan to make any significant changes in what you try and do this season?
Some, yes. We're gonna work harder for one thing. We're gonna run more. We're gonna be in better shape, and when the end of the season comes along, we're not gonna be as tired as we were.
Who do you open up with, and when's that first game?
We open up December 9th at home against Shawnee Heights, so we'd like for everybody to be there.
How many guys are you going to have on your basketball team?
We think right now we're going to keep somewhere in the area of 18. That's junior varsity and varsity. We'll shoot up 12 for varsity games, and then the rest will be for JV.
What kind of a conference are we going to be looking at Sunflower League this year? Maybe give me your top 3 teams.
Okay. Well, and then this is a terrible thing for a coach to say, but I think you got to put us up there. Leavenworth, because they've got Orbendorfer kid, the 6'10" kid coming back, and then Olathe South, because they've got the Patterson kid coming back, who's a player too.
Good luck this season, Coach.
Thank you very much.
And Jim, back up to you.
Thank you, Joe. Jack Schreiner's team, as he mentioned, opening on the 9th with Shawnee Heights. We'll have it for you live right here on Channel 6. Shawnee Heights and Lawrence High School basketball December 9th. Also want to remind you that the LHS Lions Pack the House night is for boys and girls basketball. They'll scrimmage. The wrestling and swim teams will be there doing skits, contests, and prizes. That's Tuesday, November 29th, 6:30 p.m. the LHS gym. Get out there and pack the house for the LHS Lions on Tuesday, November 29th at 6:30 in the evening. We have much more to come here. Some highlights and first half numbers as we're at halftime. Memorial Stadium, the 6A state championship game, live right here on Channel 6. Derby leads it 7-0. The first and only score in this game comes from 68 yards. Barry Galbraith connecting on his 20th touchdown pass of the year. First play of the second quarter goes complete to Aaron Severin. And that one covered 68 yards and 7-0 our score. The Lions' biggest play was this one to Johnny Karr. 33-yard pass reception, but the Lions could not convert. First half numbers, Derby with 102 yards of passing offense, 166 yards overall. The Lions split it up pretty well, but again, that 33-yarder adds into that 42 total. The first down total fairly even, Nate. Not a lot of offense. It's a very tough defensive football game.
Yeah, both teams are stepping up defensively. It's a lot easier to step up defensively when you are very uptight. And I think both teams came out very uptight, very insecure about things. But once they settle down in the second half, Jim, I think things are going to light up offensively for both Lawrence and for Derby. Should be a great shootout.
Well, we've seen a lot of action here on the field at Memorial Stadium. And it's been an exciting football game. Should be nothing short of that here when we come back and bring you second half action. The teams will get about another 3 minutes to loosen up. It's a little nippy day down there. And although these guys will be fired up coming out of the locker rooms, we'll see if we can't get into their minds when they come out and see what's got to go on. This is the Jim Ellena Autoplex halftime report. And we'll be back with more from Memorial Stadium right after this. Have to warm up after halftime in a cold day like this. You sat and you were out of action for a good 20 minutes, and now you got to come back out here and warm up again.
Well, it's very difficult, but I don't think it's going to stop either one of these teams. I think maybe if you're thinking about physically, it's tough on your body, but when it comes down to it, you're going to see who is going to be the most mentally tough team. You got to make sure, though, physically, Jim, you got to keep your legs warm so you don't pull anything. That is a concern, and I think both athletic trainers for both teams are concerned about that. They are warm inside the locker room. When they come back out, they do have to keep themselves stretched out. If you get a look at Derby right now stretching out, Lawrence will stretch out on their own. The weather definitely does take a toll, though, if you don't keep yourself stretched out.
We've been fortunate. We haven't had any precipitation in this game, but it is getting a little chillier down there along the sidelines. Joe Carnes, your thoughts real quick about what the Lions' intensity will be down there along the sidelines. If they come out fired up to you, you're right down there among them. Are they talking a lot?
I think they're very fired up. I don't think there's any problem with that. The thing they've got to do is put more pressure on Derby's quarterback, force him to throw the ball a little bit more quickly, and get a little bit tighter coverage from their defensive backs. On the offensive side of things, I think they just need to stick with their game plan, sustain those blocks on the offensive line just a little bit more, and I think we'll see some big things for Lawrence High here in the second half.
There's big 51 Reggie Harrison. He's got the cast on his hand, but he needed a new helmet today. There's a Warrior. He's been banged up. He's got a limp to him, too. We'll try to get an injury update here momentarily from Joe on Reggie. See if he will be able to play. Brent Schumann talking to him. Derby fans across the way enjoying themselves on a blustery afternoon. It's Reggie trying to run it off. He got his leg crumpled up pretty good on the last play of the first half. And if Joe had his comments on what needs to happen here in the second period, do you think the Lions, like last year, had to go to the air? They came back with the pass, something they didn't do all season long against Derby last year to come from 23 down and win it. Will they have to go to the pass here, Nate? Do they have to open it up a little bit more?
Yeah, I do. I think one thing they didn't do, Jim, was run to the play action pass. They went to the straight drop back and threw the long ball to Carr one time for 33 yards. But if they carry out the play action around in, that's going to open up their running game in the option. I think they'll be very successful if they do mix the football up a little bit.
I want to remind you that the scoreboard reveals the winner of a high school athletic contest. The real winners are those people who treat competition as a game and not a war. Those who show genuine concern for an injured player and those who accept all decisions of the officials. Remember to be a sport when you attend a high school event. It's a public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association, one of the sponsors for today's telecast. This has been the Jim Allen Autoplex halftime report, where you can check out all the 95 Buicks, Nissan Maximas, and check out the cheap Grand Cherokee. We'll be back with the second half action in the 6A state championship football matchup between the Derby Panthers and the Lawrence Lions after this word. The Lions will kick off to start the second half. Lawrence High needing another comeback. They've done it 2 straight ball games, beating Shawnee Mission South in the opening of this championship season, the 3-game season. 28-27 coming from behind in that one. They beat Olathe East last week 14-10 in come from behind fashion. They only lost to Olathe North 42-25, and that was way back at the second game of the season in Haskell Stadium. That's when the 35-game winning streak came to an end, and Dick Purdy after that game said, hey, the streaks have to end, but this one would be an unprecedented 6th straight state championship in high school football. It's never been done in any class. There's been a couple of smaller classes that have won 5 straight. The Lions looking for the record books here. They'll have to do it defensively to start things off. Nick Purdy way down at the 30-yard line, watching the kick from Tommy Wiles. Tyson Malik back to receive for the Panthers. Wiles on the ground. That'll be taken by an up man, and falling on top of it is number 49 for Derby, Aaron Robbins. He's a defensive end. The Panthers will go on offense again in the first half. It was a good passing performance for the quarterback, Barry Galbraith. 5 of 10 through the air, 102 yards, had the big 68-yard touchdown pass, and that's the difference in this game. First down and 10. Panthers with the football from their own 32-yard line. Galbraith pitches back. That's Malik. He turns the corner, and Malik gets loose. He's got 15 and bounced out of bounds in Lions territory. So the Panthers starting out much the same way they did against the Lions. John Karr shaken up, though, back at the 35-yard line.
Jim, Johnny is down. He came up on this play, and I think he got kicked out in the ankle. Watch 35, Tyson Malik come around and get into the secondary.
I tell you, I didn't see what happened to John on that play, but he is shaken up across the way.
Well, John came up on the play. I did see he came up hard to get the kick out from Malik, and he got leveled. Johnny must be seeing stars right now.
30 seconds gone here in the second half. John Karr is up.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some type of a concussion.
He was shaking his head pretty good in there, and they were looking him in the eyes, talking to him, and now walking 2 straight a line coming off. It was an 18-yard pickup for Tyson Malik. He had just 6 yards rushing in the first half, and again coming into this game 1,234 yards and 22 touchdowns. The defensive units have come to play in this one. Seen a couple of big plays for highlights, and that's about it. Weirman shifts out of the eye, and he'll pass protect now. Galbraith in trouble and hung on too long. He's sacked back at the 49-yard line.
Greg Erb coming in from the safety position big time. Shears comes around and almost strips the ball for number 9. Watch the hand get in there. Then Erb comes, breaks off his tackler, his man rather, and makes a big sack for Lawrence.
Well, John Karr, who plays the left corner position on the bench for the Lions, shaking up on that previous play. Joe Carnes, quick injury update from you, please.
Good news for Lions fans. John Karr just got poked in the eye. They took a look at him. He'll be back in a few plays.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thomas Daniels in now to relieve him. Wehrman bounces off Enneking, tries to get across midfield and keeps a leg drive going and gains 3 of the 4-yard loss back. It'll bring a 3rd and about 11 now for the Panthers.
Well, Derby just trying to get a few yards here to set up a big pass play coming up. Wehrman with great leg drive coming across, but Lawrence is playing solid defense. They played a solid zone right there, waiting for them, seeing what they want to do. This should bring up a huge 3rd down and 11. Mark it, JoJo Polk is in for Johnny Karr, or is Johnny Karr back in?
Panthers 0 for 3, converting in 3rd downs. John Karr back in over across the way defensively.
Okay.
Galbraith in trouble. He goes down and back at the 48-yard line. Nate Williams in on the sack. Billy Brashears there, and Chris Enneking.
Well, those are the 3 guys that are going to have to step up today. Enneking, number 70, watching big over your right side, swarms his man. Williams forces a penetration. I got to believe that Dick Purdy talked about their front line at halftime, saying, guys, we need pressure on Galbraith. He's too good with too much time.
So at 9:30 to play in the 3rd quarter, Derby will punt it away. Shelby Wehrman. Ooh, hits a nice one.
Good looking kick.
Daniels, he lost the handle on it. He get it back at the 20-yard line. A flag is thrown. It's a 27-yard punt. A flag is down. The football recovered by the Lions. It hit Daniels right on the numbers and popped loose. We'll get the word on this penalty here. It's against the Panthers. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call, and I would have to believe he came in hard with the helmet on that tackle. Hold on here. We'll get the word from the official.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the green, 1st down white.
Lions get good field position with the penalty. We have a timeout here in the 6A state championship game. 7-0 our score. Derby out in front. First play of the drive is John Karr on the carry. Malik and Russell combined to make the stop for the Panthers, but John Karr picks up 3 yards on the play, and he'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Here's the last play.
Just a quick give to Karr running off tackle. Not much there. Tyson Malik coming up with the stick, as well as David Russell.
2nd down. Herb shifts over to the near side in the slot. Play goes his way. Addig, and Addig met hard. He gets about 3 on the play. Tyson Malik and Ross Draney teamed up along with Nathan Phillips to make the stop.
Well, right now they're bringing Malik up in a support position so he can make hard against the run, and Malik is just laying his head right on the ball, trying to force a fumble. This is where I think, Jim, the play action pass can come in. They've tried to go to the tight end before. They haven't heard Billy Brashears' name called out too much today. I would keep an eye on the pop pass to Brashears or again to Herb.
Tell you too, a key factor in this football game, Nate, we saw the big play, and it's really evident in high school football. You look at big plays, you look at turnovers is another factor. We have not had any yet in this football game. 7:55 to play. We do have a timeout called by the Lions. 7-0, Derby out in front. The Derby defense hoping to rise to the test here. Third down and 2. The football at the Lions' 43-yard line. Addig and Karr in the backfield. This is Garrett Addig. He has the first down near the 50-yard line. He'll mark him down at the 49. Gain of 5 yards for Garrett.
Well, watch the right surge on the right side of the line, and Nate Williams and Enneking clearing their man out. I think that's what they talked about as a unit on the sideline with Dick Purdy. Hey, guys, if we're going to win this game, we're going to win it up front. And right there, clearly Lawrence won the battle.
Well, how many times have we seen it here? The Lions sideline. Brain trust of the defending state champs. Trying to get something to work here and make this a football game that they can take charge in. They trail at 7-0. Relander and Draney met John Karr head on.
I watch the man in the middle. I like the way he's playing football. Number 44 coming in with a hard stick with a lot of support from Ross Draney. These two seniors right here are clearly leading the way for Derby and making it awful hard for the center box area for Lawrence.
Karr, 13 carries, 46 yards. Garrett Addig, 8 carries for 23. And JoJo Polk, who was in the first half, 4 carries, 11 yards. And that's the running offense for the Lions. Now they'll run it to the left side. Here's Addig, and he tried to get through the slot. Will not. He'll get 2, if that much. And a host of tacklers led by Jeff Raylander in on the stop for Derby. This one just really didn't have much going. They filled in the slot real quick.
Well, watch number 45 come over. Raylander and 44. That's just a great looking football play right there.
Lions fans a little chilly today, Nate. They got the war paint on. 6:20 and counting in the third. Lions 3rd down 4. On the option, Addig dives ahead. He stretches. He did not get the first.
No,
he about a yard shy, and this is a 4th down situation where you might have to go for it.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea to go for it, but right now I'd be very questioning of the right side of the offensive line. I would run left again. There's nothing doing as the Derby High School football team is just swarming over that side. We talked about it before, Jim. I think they're going to go to their strong side. We'll find out what it is today for Lawrence.
4th down, long one, almost 2, and Jim Ward's going to give it up. The Derby fans at night as this Derby defensive unit, which has done it all year long, stops the Lions on 4th down.
Jim, I think Jimmy Ward wanted to run that football, and he never had the opportunity because Josh Riddell came up strong and just leveled him out. 87 was there on the play, beating his man on end. Nothing doing for Lawrence.
Well, it's back in the Lions defense now. The pressure that is to stop Derby once again.
Well, so far today, you've seen Derby do a lot of flash things. I think they may come out with a big play in the pass right here or establish some type of an option on this series.
It's the best starting field position for the Panthers. They punted it away once in this football game. Malik, he slices the right side. Picks up 3, maybe 4 yards before he runs into a Lions defensive player. Randy Foster with the big hit.
Well, watch Foster come up here and just shellac number 35. Pow! Boy, that's good looking. Number 50, big time play for him. Good night. Randy Foster is one heck of a hitter.
Foster checks in 5'10", 192, only a junior on this football team. 4:49 to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 7. Football at the 47 on the 2nd man through. Malik, and he knifes his way inside for a 1st down. On the tackle, Lee Myers, number 75. 9-yard pickup for Tyson Malik.
Watch the line surge. What they're doing, it looks like, is like a cut block where you cut the legs right underneath the guys and you got nothing but dead soldiers laying down. Then it leaves a lot of room for 35 to run right through and get a good solid 1st down for Derby.
J.D. Lauderbarger helped out on the play for the Lions. Clock in the Panthers' favor right now. 4:20 to play. Looks like Galbraith checks off the play there. 2nd man through. Malik, he may have checked the wrong play as he stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think you're onto something there, Jim. You know, Lawrence is bringing an extra guy on top of their 5. They've got 6 people on the line. And when Galbraith checks off, he's running right into that wall. I think they're trying to gamble and get their man through the line, because if they do, they'll have 1 man to beat, and that's the free safety.
And Reggie Harrison just checks back into the football game for the Lions, the defensive nose tackle. Joe Carnes, you have more on that.
Has just come back from the locker room. They wrapped his right leg up near the groin area. A slight groin pull. Trainers tell me that he's not going to be very explosive, but he's going to try and go on it.
Now Chris Enneking right now, number 70, with a problem with his equipment. Just a little delay in the action. Clock right at 4 minutes. And our thanks to university officials here at Kansas. Always nice to be back up in our box here. We normally call the KU Jayhawk games, and it's a great setting for high school football.
It definitely is.
Second down and 9 now for the Panthers. They want the state championship. Saw it slip away from them last year. Haven't seen this in a while. A quick slant pass. It's complete. Corey Gorley on the receiving end.
Well, Thomas Daniels is playing a little bit off. Gorley getting all the look today on these quick outs. And Galbraith putting the ball, just floating it out there. I'm waiting for Daniels to come up and just shellac him.
You might see a pick here one of these times if he happens to float one of those out too often. The Lions defensively, 11 interceptions on the year. Thomas Daniels with 3 of them.
Well, Galbraith isn't known for throwing interceptions, but if he keeps throwing like that, he'll head into one.
He has 7 on the year, but he has put it up several times, 1,300 yards through the air. Here's the option. Malik turns the corner. Malik could score. 36-yard touchdown run by Tyson Malik.
Jim, that play was there before they ran it. There's been great blocking on end. Heads-up play by credit to quarterback Gary Galbraith for getting the ball to Malik's hand as soon as he can. He saw 2 men on corner and 1 man to beat. He gets it in Malik's hand and he is nothing but in the house.
Well, Malik had 37 yards rushing before that as it comes to you. This one goes for 36. And this is a big, big one for Derby. Chris DeVore on for the extra point. Again, he's kicked 52 on the year. This one, boy, that go through? It did, but just barely. The low liner gives the Panthers a 2-touchdown advantage. 2:58 to play here in the third quarter. We'll be back. Third quarter of the state championship football game, Class 6A level. Derby out to a 2-touchdown lead, and that last touchdown play came right at Joe Carnes along the sidelines. Joe, why did that work so well?
Well, Jim, Derby did a great job at the point of attack, and then they sealed off the inside and did a particularly good job of blocking off Daniels, the defensive secondary person there, and then the sideline was wide open.
Well, the official moving the Lions back on the sidelines. I'm going to check with you here in a couple of minutes, see what the attitude is down there for Lawrence High. You can tell by that kick that, boy, I tell you, DeVore's pumped up. 2 yards deep. Here comes Karr. No, he will not be able to bring it out. That is an automatic touchback. I do apologize for that. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. But if you had any sense of what's going on down on the sidelines, Joe Carnes, as far as are they still up? Does this team, which has fought back so many times, still know that they can do this?
Yes, Jim, they do. Right now they're saying, come on, let's get it together. There's no sense of panic down here. Lions have been in this situation several times before, and you remember last year they were down 23-0 before they came back and won.
I think they had a little bit more time too, but they are only down by 14. You're absolutely right. 2:56 left. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Lawrence High sends Herb over to the far side. A misdirection handoff in the backfield, not going to work for John Karr, and the defense for Derby is fired up. Pass along a Class 3A score for you at Fort Hays State. Wichita Collegiate leading Marion 16-6 in the third quarter.
But Jim, they tried running the misdirection here. This is a deception play. Run that fullback in front, but nothing doing because the free safety and strong safeties came up and made the play. Good looking play also by Shelby Werman. Looks like Johnny Carr is having trouble with his shoe today.
He's lost it, what, 3 times down there now. It's another thing. When we talked to the coaches prior to the game, it was, do you like the turf? Do you like the turf setting? Both these teams had a chance to work out. The Lions worked in Anschutz. Wichita State was where the Panthers worked out. Now Carr will have to come out of the game to fix his shoe. But the Lions coaches didn't much care for playing on the turf. They're used to grass, and that's what the players would rather do.
You know, I think it's something psychological. Turf will make you faster if you do have speed. But clearly they didn't like it before the game.
And Brent Schumann in the backfield now for the Lions. The option on the reverse.
Oh,
the
fumble.
The first turnover, and it goes to Derby.
Josh Riddell on the recovery. There's a little miscommunication. They've been brought in. Watch number 45. They go for the option. They give to Enneking, then the kick out to number 45. I think, Jim, he lost the sight of the football.
Actually, it may have been tossed behind him a little bit. Herb came out of that slot.
It's always a challenge when you bring in fresh people in the backfield when you're going to run the option.
You see it again. It looked like that pitch went right behind Greg Herb, and we'll get back to action here with 1:51 left. 14-0. Derby has it at the Lions 16 after the first turnover in this football game. Here's Malik, has a crease, and he's met at the 12-yard line. Greg Erb on the tackle. And again, this could be a costly play for the Lions.
Well, you're absolutely right. The pitch is behind Erb, and you know that's just a matter of timing. Whenever you bring in fresh people, you don't always have the same rhythm. Their rhythm was thrown off because Johnny Karr had lost his shoe, and he came off to the sideline, and they brought in 45 Erb.
But again, that's also Erb playing in that slot position too. He came out of that slot, so it was almost like a little end around option, and it was the play just got behind him a little bit. The timing, you're right, was not there on that one. The Lions would hate to have it cost them 6 points. Galbraith, and he's tackled, got back to the line of scrimmage. The man that got him was Billy Brashears.
Right now this puts Lawrence, their backs are against the wall, and they're going to play solid defense right here. I don't think Derby successfully can throw the football. They may throw the quick out right here to get a couple of yards, then they'll go back to the run. But if Lawrence can win the battle up front, Jim, they should be able to handle just getting out of this with just a field goal.
Now this Derby team wants the state championship. They will call a timeout with a 3rd down and 6 to go. 14-0, 38 seconds to play here in the 3rd. We'll be back with more 6A state championship football on Channel 6 after these words. You get the fans cheer on this defensive unit. Hey, what do you do here? Do you look for the end zone, or do you just try to do it? Got you to this point, hammer out?
I think you got to hammer it out right now. If they were to throw the football, I would throw just a quick out, because Lawrence High right now, their cornerbacks are playing off and they're giving them the 4 or 5 yards and then try to get the 1st down. But I wouldn't go for the end zone right now because you have so much confidence in the way you're running the football.
And you do have 2 downs if you need it, but then again, you can try for the field goal. We had one missed earlier by Derby. And there's the timing pattern in the end zone, intercepted. Touchdown, they'll call. Oh my. John Karr was on the coverage. There was Corey Gorley on the reception. We're going to have to look at this one again.
Well, take a look at the fade route right here. I was totally wrong, but look at Barry Galbraith going towards the end zone. Watch the end line. Jim, I don't know if he had possession for that or not. That is going to be controversial.
Johnny Karr looked like he caught it. I think that's his claim. He's saying he caught it right on the helmet. We'll watch it one more time here. Man, nobody landed with possession of the football, but they called it 6 points. I'm not going to deny the fact that it went for 6. But the touchdown goes to Gorley. That's his 2nd of this game. 21-0 our score. Back with more in just a minute. 33 seconds to play in the 3rd. Here's another look at the touchdown, and you make the call. The officials made what appeared to be the right call from low angle. And I think what you may see there, Nate, and help me out and correct me if I'm wrong, you'll see that there was position by the receiver. Now he had the position on it, and a low angle showed it a little bit better, that actually Gorley had position. The football came to him, and Karr came over his back, or not over his back, but came in and went to get it.
Yes, we definitely watch
it from the low angle again. It shows it a little more clearly.
I think what you're alluding to, Jim, who had position first? Who had the ball in their hands first? And I think their receiver, Gurley, did. And then Johnny Karr succinctly came over with his hands on top of it. He never had outright possession of the football, but he did have possession of it first.
Good point. The officials make the call. And maybe some precipitation brewing here in Lawrence, Kansas. There's a good look at John Karr. He wanted the interception. Instead, it goes as a touchdown for the Panthers. This one, J.D. Louderbarger fields it at the 9. Ooh, maybe a clip coming. Louderbarger gets out to the 29. Here comes the flag at the 20. So blocking in the back. And out of your shot, there may have been
on the wide.
It'll be holding against the Lions.
The 1st down.
Lawrence High will get marched back. Tabor Medill, the referee for this game. (21-0). The Panthers out in front. The Lions sideline. having to play comeback earlier this year.
They've been a comeback team all year long.
20 seconds to play here in the third. This is a second man through. Garrett Attig, 2 yards, and that's it. Like Tyler Malik may have been in there on the stop. Malik came up, Jeff Raylander also, and Justin Williams.
Well, the reason you run this play is just to get yourself out position of getting a safety. They want to run the clock down.
We'll come back and talk about it after this timeout. 21-0 our score. Derby after 3. With 1 1/4. Very balanced offensive attack for the Panthers. The Lions needing to go here on 2nd down and 7. Football inside their own 15. Attig, second straight carry for him, 3 yards. Again, this Derby defensive unit, 140 yards is what they give up on average during the season. And if you think about going to the air, they'll pick you off. 20 interceptions in 11 football games.
And their big interception guy is number 35, Tyson Malik. He seems to be the big play guy for Derby today. Keep an eye on him. This definitely does force Lawrence to throw the football. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they came back with the run on 3.
They picked it up. 3rd down and 3. Ball on the 17, just underway in the 4th. Attig can't get it, and he stops shy of a 1st down. Tommy Wiles will most likely have to punt.
Yeah, they're going to send in Wiles on this. This is too much of a jeopardy situation if they come in and go for the 1st down. Lawrence is trying to establish the run. They need to get out of this back end territory, but it's too tough because there's too much of a surge up front for Derby.
Now the Lions evidently will go for it. Now here's where maybe you try to draw the free 1st down on the penalty. Change your count, change your cadence a little bit. A quarterback trying to pick it up via the offsides.
Yeah, there's going to be a big bark by Jimmy Ward right here. Watch his head. He may even shake his head to draw these guys off and get the 1st down.
Ryan Goodwin split out. Attig should be the ball carrier on this one. On 4th down, it is Attig. 1st and 10 Lions.
Well, I can't tell you how big of a 1st down that is, Jim. They're going to have to get a 1st down on every series. Attig clearly is the man. The past 4 weeks he's been running solid over Enneking. And Jim, they're going to have to score on this drive if they're going to win this football game. Every single drive is crucial.
And the Lions also could use a quick TD here, a big play, save some of that clock, because Derby has shown that they can use it well. They can grind it out. They've got the ground game to do it. And it's rolling right now. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. The Panthers with the 21-0 lead. Nobody is left here. They saw what happened, and they remember what happened last year. Ooh, big opening for Karr. It closed up, though, as on the stop, David Russell and Jeff Raylander, 2 of the 3 linebackers.
Well, the one guy you didn't mention, Jim, was Ross Draney. He made that play. He kind of cleared his man out, and he was just waiting for the Lawrence running back right there, Johnny Karr. Watch 75, just clear his man out, and he was right there. He's the cohort for their defense. He is the heart and soul. I think he is causing more trouble up front for Jimmy Ward than anyone else the whole year long.
Lions after a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. .9:26 left in this football game. Flags will fly. Ryan Goodwin thinks it's against Derby, and the Panthers are kind of looking at each other.
Well, Jeff Raylander thinks it's against Lawrence, so we'll have to see.
It'll be against the defense. And that'll be the 2nd flag against both teams. Dick Purdy's club penalized twice for 15 or 25 yards. 15 yards in flags against Tom Young's Panthers. Well, the 5-time defending state champs could be ending their reign atop 6A football in their hometown this afternoon. 9 minutes left to play. Quick pass, and that's almost intercepted. Tyson Malik got his arm up and knocked it away.
You know, I bet you that isn't the first or last time that'll happen to Tyson Malik. Like I said, this guy's got 8 interceptions on the year. He's a heads-up football player. He seems good football players are around the ball all the time. He played that at a defensive end position, then he skated back because he saw Jimmy Ward's eyes the whole way.
Lions fans, not much to smile about right now. Their team down by 3 scores. That does stop the clock, though, at 8:57. 3rd down and 3. Football at the 30-yard line. On the option, Jim Ward drops it back to Karr. He has the first and stays inbounds and dives ahead of the 46. What you were saying, Nate, is go ahead and take one less yard and dive out of bounds.
Absolutely. You got to be playing heads up, and I'm not saying Johnny Karr is not a heads up football player, folks. You got to get out of bounds because time is your worst enemy. Great run by Johnny Karr. It was a smart pitch by Jim. As it looks like we've got an injury on the field. Number 45 maybe now, David Russell.
No, Russell's out of the field. I think it's Raylander.
Is that right?
8:49 left here in this football game. 21-0 our score. We'll be back after the injury timeout.
Play to Karr.
Near side, John looking to elude some tacklers. He's not going to give up that football. David Russell trying to pull it out from him. And Raylander made the stop along with him. Shelby Wehrman was the man shaken up on that last play for Derby. He's out of the football game right now.
Well, Jim, I thought that play had a chance, and Wehrman did go down. Looked like he got cracked back on a block the previous play, but that play had a chance if Derby's linebackers weren't there. Raylander and Russell right there waiting for the screen, but I'd check to go back to that again if they over-pursue.
Two wide receivers to the top. Ward airs it out. That one knocked away.
Troy Glasser playing over at the quarterback position was just kind of on a rob position. You can see at the left top of your screen, watch as Jimmy Ward rolls out right and throws the ball in the area of Herb. Glasser comes over and just slaps the ball with his hand.
Jake Sobbing was in the football game for Shelby Wehrman, and Wehrman comes back in. Jim Ward 4 for 9 passing, 45 yards on the afternoon.
He's not getting much time to set up and step up and throw. If he can get some time, he'll do some damage against Derby.
7:58 left to play in this game. Lions trail it 21-0. Second man through, Karr hit at the 50, gets down to the 48-yard line. It'll be 4th and long now. Shelby Wehrman made the stop for Derby High School. Josh Riedel also there, and John Karr a little shaken up.
Well, Wehrman's turned out to be somewhat of a warrior as Lawrence comes back with a misdirection. He just comes up and lays his hands on Johnny and just lays him down. Well, it brings up a 4th and 4, like you said.
And you can see, look at number 44, Jeff Raylander, getting the crowd up into this football game. The Lions fans to the near side come up. 4th down, 4 to go for Lawrence High. Need to get to the 44-yard line. It's the 11th play of the drive. Jimmy wants to throw for it. Shovel pass, Karr.
Karr's gonna get it.
Got the
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I've got goosebumps. What a play. That was a questionable call because these guys have not been over pursuing, but watch Johnny Karr. If we can get this on the replay, incredible. Watch Jimmy. He's gonna just take a chance because he has no other chance. 22 is sheer determination for the first down, folks. Great run.
Boy, he just shredded off Raylander. And he got that second effort for the first down. 6:50 to play. Lions need scores quickly. 21-0.
He's open in the flat. He's going long. He's gotten the whole way, Jim.
Karr, touchdown. The flag is down, though, back at the 43-yard line, and they may call this back. The Derby fans will tell you the story. They're going to wipe this one off.
Well, this may all be called back on a hold, but just a great pass and catch. Jimmy Ward and Johnny Karr in the out and up. Much to the dismay of a hold.
We've got a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike on the white.
A lot of disappointment in the Lawrence fans.
Well, they called unsportsmanlike conduct, I believe, Joe Carnes, on the Lawrence bench. I did not hear the first call either, and I'm not too sure. Was that holding against the Lions, then unsportsmanlike on the bench as well?
Yes, that's correct. It was a holding call on the touchdown pass, and the Lawrence coaching staff very upset with that call, and were yelling at the officials, and the referee said, "I've had enough," and he threw the flag. So very costly.
Take another look at that play that went for 6.
But you're not going to see the hold on that, but you're just going to see a great catch by Johnny Karr. You know, that is a questionable football and high school football game. A state championship game to call a hold. Holding is one of the most controversial calls, and it is rarely called in a game of this magnitude, Jim. I'm very shocked.
And again, we're not dogging the officials in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
They're doing a great job, and these are the best officials from around the state. That's why they get here. It's a 28-yard loss, and now they'll run the draw to Karr and tack on another 2-yard loss on that as he went down in the arms of Ross Draney and Shelby Weirman. And boy, that was a big, big momentum buster.
Well, I tell you what, as you watch the give to Karr, Lawrence, it seems like the wind is set out of their balloons. They're going to have to regroup very quickly if they're going to get back into this football game. And yes, Jim, that was just a momentum shifter. That hurts big time for them, because if they score there, they're back in this football game. I could just feel the momentum change.
It was.
You could see it on the sideline. You could see it in the fans. You could see it in the eyes of the players on the field. But now they're faced with a 2nd and 41. Mercy.
21-0. Panthers with the lead on defense. Lions need to get all the way down to the 30. Pass intended for Erb, almost brought it in at the 45-yard line. Still would have left them 25 yards shy of a first. Gorley was back on the coverage for the team that appears to be the next state champs of 6A football.
Well, Greg Erb's going to give it all he has, and just a little bit short of holding on to this football. That would have been a super catch.
Lawrence High has had the football this entire 4th quarter. It began at their 10-yard line, this drive did. And it was with 20 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter that this drive began, so it's 6-10 right now. The Lions facing their 14th play of the drive, and they have 2 wide receivers to the near side needing 41 yards for a first. JoJo Polk, one of them. Oh, and Jim Orr goes down back at the 21.
And guess who?
The sack, Ross Draney for Derby.
We've been talking about him all afternoon. Ross Draney, the heart and soul of this defense, coming in and making a most dejecting sack on Jimmy Ward.
Well, you knew they were going to pass on 21. They needed 21, 4th and 21. And that was also Aaron Robbins. So you had Robbins in there, and they put the sandwich on him. Or 3rd and 21. Now it's 4th and 48. Tommy Wiles to punt it. This one takes a Lawrence High roll inside the 40, and still rolling to the 30-yard line of Derby, and the Panthers needing just 5:20 to roll off the clock before they claim a state championship. Now, we've had comebacks before for Lawrence High School. They came back last year in the state championship game, 23 down at halftime. But I tell you, you need 3 touchdowns, Nate, with 5:20 to play, and it's not too premature on the Derby fans' side to think they got the next state championship trophy. It's moving down south to the Wichita area in Derby, Kansas.
Well, there's a man that's had a big part in it today, Barry Galbraith, the captain on the football team, running a great quarterback for Derby. Lawrence needs a turnover right now if they have any shot in this football game.
There's the pitch back. Malik, and Malik slips a tackler. Still on his feet. He'll turn it into a gain. The man that had him around the ankles was Nate Williams.
You know, I'm not sure Nate wanted to bring him down there, because that would have kept the clock rolling. You know, I don't know if he tried to let him go or not, but I tell you what, it let a lot of the Lawrence tacklers get a hand on the football. Watch the way they're tackling here, folks. They're trying to get the ball jarred loose from him and do whatever they can to get the ball back in their possession.
You're right. They need the turnover, and they need him quick. 4:35 left to play. Lions shut out. Tyson Malik, 9 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown in this game. 2 throwing touchdowns by Galbraith. And it's 21-0. Second down, long 7. Malik again. He's hit hard at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, if anything.
Well, Lee Myers has been doing it big time for Lawrence. He came in there and laid the hard parts on the ball, trying to jar it loose. There's a good look at the Derby crowd. You know, even though Lawrence has been in this thing 6 years and could be winning their 6th state championship, you still knew going into this game, Jim, they're underdogs. But even so, the crowd is so quiet right now because they've expected to win this game. That just shows you how great tradition Lawrence has.
Well, this Lawrence High team will be dejected when this game's over as well.
Well, they believed in all their heart that they were going to win this game today.
Eric Riding and Lee Myers made the stop. There's the state championship trophy, which the Lions have owned for 5 years in a row. And it looks like it'll go across the field here today. It's something new for me, too. I have not covered a Lawrence High School state championship game and seen them on the wrong end of getting that trophy.
Now, I can say the same as well. I played with guys from Lawrence High, playing for KU. There's not been one guy that hasn't won a state championship that I've played with at KU. Tremendous program.
Lions will probably come strong to try and block this. You know, this good kick away. Shelby Weirman. And that's Thomas Daniels, and Daniels goes down at the 31-yard line. 21-0 our score, 2:46 to play in this game. We'll be back. 62 for the Derby Panthers. Justin Williams on the sack. Everybody getting a chance to play now. The Lions will lose 8 on that play. JD, perhaps the starting quarterback next season. 5'9", 148-pound junior. Jim Ward was shaken up on that last drive. That's why Ward's not in this game. Joe Carnes has more on Jim Ward's status. Joe?
Jim, we may not see John Ward again because of the score and the time remaining. He got hit in the chest and hit in the head. A little bit woozy. They don't think it's a concussion, but we probably won't see him again.
Thank you, Joe Carnes. Nice pass by J.D. Laudebarger as Troy Glazer prevented the first down.
I tell you what, watch Laudebarger. He's a nice looking quarterback, throwing the ball, setting his feet up, throwing well across field. That's just about an 18-yard comeback. Brings up to third and 4 though.
1:28 to play. Derby fans celebrating already. They know this one's in the bank. Lawrence High fans mum on the sidelines. The option. Here's Karr. And Carr's wrapped up and tossed down at the 35. And I tell you, that play right there tells the story of how it's been for Derby High School.
Well, watch Johnny come around corner. He could have used a block right here. I think if he would have gotten one, he would have gone somewhere. But Shelby Weirman came in and was playing heads up.
The Lions will call a timeout. 47 seconds left to play. 21-0. Derby fans igniting on the other side of this football field. We'll be back with more state championship football right after this. Sacked again. This Derby team will not quit. And the Lions will go down with the sack. 36 seconds to play. And it's unfortunate that we can't give you a score or a happy Jack Illina Honda play of the game, but here's what we've selected for you. The senior, couple of seniors, number 22 and number 11. This was on a 4th down and 4. John Karr, sheer determination to get the first down. The Lions could not convert, though, on the score. And they now will, for the first time in 6 years, hand over the state championship trophy. Tom Young with a little bit of a bath on the sidelines across the way, as his team has done what it set out to do, get sweet revenge on the Lawrence High Lions, and Galbraith will just down it. And 10 seconds now, and here they come. players not experiencing this. As they walk dejectedly to the middle of the field to shake hands with the Panthers from Derby. And you know good and well, Nate, they're standing out there saying you guys deserve this. The Lions did not play a bad football game, Nate Florell. They just got beaten by a better team here today.
Not at all. I think every single one of those guys on the Derby Panther team said, we're going to forget about last year. Let's just go out today and do the best that we can. And if we win this football game, then our mission is complete. I think Lawrence High, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure watching these guys. They've got great heart. They were underachievers all year long. No one expected them to be back here, yet they did expect them, and they got here.
Yeah, I think you meant they were overachievers all year long. The people thought that there's no way they could make it to this point. And man, when you come and make it to the state championship game, you hate to see those looks on their faces right there, but you are one of the 2 best teams in the state, win or lose. They will not oftentimes remember, however, I think people will this year, that this Lawrence High team was the runner-up. It is that important to beat Lawrence High School in football. And the Derby Panthers have done it here under head coach Tom Young. They complete their season unbeaten. 12-0, the Lions with only their 2nd loss of this high school football season, and it all comes to an end here in Memorial Stadium. Joe Carnes, quickly your thoughts down there as we wrap things up.
Well, the loss certainly doesn't take away from an outstanding season that the Lions had. Some big wins, especially the win over Olathe East to get here. I think that they just were a little bit outmanned today for some reason. They didn't get it going early on. The big long touchdown pass in the first half, and then Derby really controlling the line of scrimmage throughout the ball game and not giving the Lions a chance to get their offense going.
One other thing I wanted to add is that coaches on the Lawrence High side were well aware that this Derby team would not have quit in it this year. They didn't quit last year, but the difference was they settled back a little bit. They didn't continue with their offense the way they ran it in the first half last year. Here they just kept hammering and kept going. They did not get conservative, Nate, and they just kept playing hard football against the Lawrence Lions.
Yes, they were very aggressive. They came out here pulling out all stops, having nothing to lose. They had nothing to defend and everything to gain. You can go on and on with all the cliches. They sheerly wanted this thing so much, and that's why they came out successful today.
Well, our final here from Memorial Stadium reads Derby 21, Lawrence High nothing. The championship trophy leaves Lawrence High School for the first time in 6 years. Our thanks to Dick Purdy and his coaching staff, Ron Commons, the athletic director at LHS, University of Kansas, and the Kansas State High School Activities Association. And a special thanks to everyone involved with high school football on Channel 6. For Joe Carnes and our spotter and statisticians today, Charlie Upton, and our statistician, Todd Brabender, Nate Florell, this is Jim Bracciano saying your final again from the 6A State Championship. Derby 21, Lawrence High nothing. So long, everybody.